Sticky Trifle Podcast. Welcome to the Sticky Trifle Podcast.
And this will now be the third visit for Rosehearty. Last time I was up in a hill, and then before that I was at the bowling club, Bowling Green. And this time I'm actually visiting the Harbour for the first time ever. And my guest has got a lot of knowledge about the Harbour and its history. And it must be said, he's got so much passion and motivation for the Harbour that it's clear, and you'll find that out when he starts speaking with me.
Sticky Trifle Podcast.
And welcome, it's Sticky Trifle Podcast number 46, and look far we are. Far are we, by the way?
We're Rosehearty Harbour.
Rosehearty Harbour, and you're a guy I've never met before. But before we explain who you are, will you have a beer with me?
Certainly.
He's going to have a beer with me.
Very partial to a beer.
It's a Sticky Trifle it's a Sticky Trifle tradition. Now I've got you, I don't know if you've tried this stuff before,
No.
Meantime Citrus.
It'll be fine.
Meantime
sure.
Citrus. So do you have a beer the odd occasion?
Just an odd occasion. Yeah,
The odd he's telling us that. I think he has a lot more than... we'll say cheers before we hear us.
Right, cheers. Cheers, I will.
Right, see what you think of this. Drink. You sure?
Prefer tenants.
As what I say, I've had better. Not sure I've seen, so it's a meantime...
It's alright, no, it's okay.
Meantime Citrus. Right, so it's David Whyte.
Yeah.
David Whyte, we've got a boat going out in the back of the pier here. That looks like, is that Joss?
That's Joss, right?
Hey!
He's
So
going to catch some haddock, I think.
I want to catch haddock for our supper, for me and your supper, aren't
I hope so, aye.
Aye, right.
That'll be fine.
Right, good to meet you. Now, I'm really glad you've came on, but before we get going, let's speak about you, David, because I don't ken a lot about you, right? So, but have you always been Rosehearty?
Aye, hell life. Yeah, brought up in Summers Road.
Okay.
Dad was a lorry driver, mother worked in the fish.
You didn't become a lorry driver?
No, I
did you?
didn't know.
You didn't want to follow his footsteps?
Toolies. I served my time in the Toolies.
Alright, so engineering kind of
Aye.
stuff?
Yeah, aye, a good grounding.
Uh-huh.
As most folk will ken, the Toolies give you a good apprenticeship, there's no doubt about it.
And so,
So
what happened after you left us doing the Toolies?
Well, I got into the sort of oil service industry, and then basically got into working for an oil company, initially Texaco, and then latterly Talisman Energy, and I forgot the last team now, Italian.
That's alright.
Repsol was the last team.
Repsol, okay. And you got a whiff of that? Or?
Well, no, that was my career right through, and
But you're not doing that now?
No, I've retired when I was 57, which was 3.5 years ago.
Did you retire because of pressure, or was it something else?
I think the opportunity came. I wanted to retire at 55. That was my goal, but it's hard. It's about being comfortable and how much is enough. And when 55 wasn't just appropriate at the time, I aimed for 60, and then I got the opportunity. Being the oil industry, you're always reorganising, and I was working at Flotta at the time. I was a manager at the oil terminal up in Flotta in Orkney, and things were changing, right. And they wanted me to move on to different things, and I was getting to the age where I didn't want to going back offshore, and I didn't want to go back and work in the office in Aberdeen, and I got the opportunity to get the package, and so I took the package and decided it was time. Spoke to...
And you no regrets about that, have you?
No,
Right.
best thing I ever did. Best thing I ever did. It's fantastic.
Now, you also, are we right in saying, are you the owner of the Mason Arms? Or?
Aye, well, me and the wife, we've got the Mason's Arms. We bought it about 13 years ago. It's part of my retirement package, basically. It was a case of...
So it's kind of kept you busy since... You're not really retired and you're still kind of doing
I've never been so busy, to be honest with you.
Wow.
I've gotten involved with the Harbour quite a lot. I've been fishing with small boats for 38 years since I was in my early 20s.
Never had any accidents now when you're out?
I've had some close shaves.
And was that through stupidity or common sense?
Well, just stupidity. But every day is a learning day. Every day, I mean, you think you can, and then even this last week, again, something happens. Like the engine, overheats for some stupid reason, and you learn something more, and you learn every day with a small boat.
So you've never had any bad injuries happen with us going out in a boat?
No, apart from the odd hook in the finger and that. No, but I've nearly sunk a boat. I did hole a boat once in a rock, and I just made it in.
Wow, so you've had lucky escapes.
I've had a couple of scrapes, and basically through carelessness.
But you took that chance because you enjoy it.
Well, it's fantastic. You can't beat it. You just can't beat it. You out here on a Sunday morning and the cliffs at your back and you're hauling in a lobster out of a lobster pot. It's just, the feeling is amazing.
And the feeling must be even better when you get paid for it.
Well, we'll make we'll make a few quid. I mean, the Harbour's just gotten busier and busier. I think we're now on at full capacity now, I think. And when I started, there was only 3 or 4 of us had. But the years gone by before that, it was a really busy harbour. I mean, this was a busy port in the 1800s and early 1900s with herring and all that kind of stuff.
Did this used to be a swimming pool?
There was a swimming pool in the corner there, an outdoor swimming pool.
And was it too much on upkeep?
Well, I'm not sure. Well, the weather changed, you see, because we used to have extreme winters with the snow and extreme summers with it hit temperatures, so the pool was really busy. But as the seasons merged a wee bit and it got a bit cooler in summer and cooler in winter, the pool kind of fell into a bit of disrepair and lack of use. And I suppose it'd been a big upkeep. I think it was a council run thing, and then they closed it and then they knocked it down and it's gone now.
Now, can I'll just tell you a little story here. If it happened. So yesterday, I'm just kind of chilling. I'm chilling out at the bay here, okay? Up at the bay for everybody sits and that.
Starting to squint now.
So I'm sitting up here yesterday, and we've got a couple of folks selling burgers, and they're going, "Hey, you was wanting a burger before? We've only 4 left," and I says, "Aye, okay." But anyway, so I'm going, "So why are you selling burgers?" Because I didn't care, and I've passed before, and I'm thinking, "Why is this folk selling us burgers and hot dogs for Aberdeen? It's really nice." And then I speaks to a lady and she starts telling me...
That was Sandra.
Sandra. And Sandra starts telling me, she says, "Oh, this is for funding, so it's I think it's going towards the Harbour." I'm going, right, okay. And she gets me in contact with you just last night. And we had a little talk, and you're here today, and I find out about RHIFA. So if it is RHIFA...
Well, it's long-winded. And it was long-winded for a reason, and I won't get into too much detail about it and bore you, but Rosehearty Harbour and Inshore Fishermen's Association, founded in 2018 on the back of some ideas. We were Vice Chairman,
okay.
And Ross had come up with some ideas. We didn't really speak to the council much. There is an advisory committee for other small harbours that the council run, but we really didn't get involved. We were just a bunch of fishermen that came down and selfish fishermen that just came down and did their thing and didn't think nothing about the infrastructure of the harbour. And Ross says, "Well, we could be doing with improving the harbour." And so he spoke to me, he spoke to a few of the other guys, and we arranged a meeting with the council. So the bottom line is, we came out of that meeting with the council and it became really clear to us
that they wasn't gonna...
that they didn't have the money to do anything than keep it standing. And
that's frustrating for you,
and well, it was, so if we wanted to do anything, we needed to do it for ourselves. So we formed the association. We got some help for NECFRIG, which is the North and East Coast Regional Inshore Fisheries Group. At the time, The chairman was Ian Maddox, a really enthusiastic guy. We've now got a new chairman, Jennifer Millett, that I'm in contact with quite a lot. And they helped us, and they came and they helped us set up our association, and that's what we did. And we've got I think about 34 members. We've got 14 commercial fishing boats and 4 or 5 non-commercial fishing boats.
And so this is why things like when there's folk selling the burgers and stuff, it's all for a reason.
We've done a heap of things. We raised a lot of money. We decided that we set 5 priorities initially, and that was to, firstly, the West Pier, which is over in that direction, the breakwater, is in near the best of condition, and we would have liked to see that repaired and resurfaced. And we wanted lighting. We wanted a mechanised davit because we were pulling our fish onto the pier before.
I think it make it easier for you to work around the pier.
Aye, and just efficiency, and we wanted more ladders on deep water ladders because it's a tidal harbour.
Yep.
And so we're moving boats in the middle of the night to try and get out in the morning, and so we wanted some more ladders so we could get the boats out in the West Pier, which is less affected by the tide. You've got more water, and we wanted a chell and we wanted an ice machine. It was all kind of pie in the sky initially, and we thought, how will we achieve this? So it was then coming down to fundraising and funding, and we then found out more about the European funding, which is the EMFF, European Maritime and Fisheries Fund, and we applied. A lot of work, but we applied to that. Aye.
So there's always different things you've got to apply for, and it must make you a pretty clever guy. Because some folk go, I don't know, can't far to start. What do I do? Huh?
I wouldn't say I'm clever, I'm just determined and gritty. It's a lot of work. Aye, an awful lot of work.
Is there times you've thought, goodness, is this worth?
Aye, I'm a bit of a moaning kind of guy.
Aye.
That's my way, I suppose, of relieving stress. I think somebody at Kensmith watches this, so I'll say he is a bit of a moaner. Aye, I do moan a lot. The wife especially will tell you that. And
well, I'll get an interview her next. I'll ask her about you.
Aye, you'll get a truth then. And you did, but you're still going in date because it's the right thing to do, and it's for us it's important, and I think we've made a bit of a difference. So we haven't got the pier resurfaced yet. It's too big a project for the council, but I'm trying to tell them that if they do it in little big chunks, we'll get there. Happen. But if they just keep saying it's too big a project, we'll never get to get there. They put the lighting in, you can't see it in the camera, but we've got new lights. We've never had lighting down the West Pier. We've now got lighting. We can see from we're landing, we're fishing in the dark. We can see what we're doing.
Excellent.
We've got our ladders in. We've got extra ladders that we'll put in our sails. We've got the council actually put the ladders in, but we bought them and paid for them. And we've got our mechanised davit, which has made a massive difference to. It used to take us. I knew where to land our fish and knew we can do it in 5 minutes.
Massive
and that's a bit
difference.
exaggeration there, but it's not kind of. We can land 3 boxes at a time. For we used to haul up behind 1 box at a time, and if you've got 10 or 15 or maybe 20 boxes, it's.
So now, see all this motivation you've got towards the harbour. Does it interfere with your private life? And I mean, we like your wife and family things. Like so. When did you get married, by the way?
Oh God.
Was it in your 20s?
Year 2001 actually. That's
2001.
Aye.
Was it first time married?
Aye.
Aye.
Near for the wife though. It was her second time.
Right. Okay. How did you meet her?
I think I harassed her in the pub one night, and she didn't want.
Why is everybody drunk when they meet their wife?
Well, she keeps telling me she didn't want anything to do with me, and I kind of persisted. And then she had a wedding to go to, and she had nobody to go with, and so she phoned me.
And she says, "Listen, look, you're a last,
exactly, scraping the bottle,
last chance saloon."
Scraping the bottle, and that was it. The rest is history. Aye.
And so, have you kids and stuff?
Aye, we've 2. Debbie's got 1. We've for our first marriage. Stacey, she is solicitor with Brown and McRae's, and we've got David for our own marriage. Both were kids at the end of the day. Both equally were kids. And David works in IL Service Company Schlumberger in Aberdeen, and they're both doing well.
And is there pets with your family?
I could tell you a story about that. Just over a year and a half ago, was it maybe a bit longer, I was sitting in the house and I says, goodness Davey, kids are gone, we've got grandkids, but maybe I was watching a dog programme, I says maybe it's time we've got a dog. And then one day I got a phone call for the barmaid at the pub. No, I phoned the pub and I says, Debbie out. She says, oh, it's the hairdresser, but she'll be home at 11 o'clock. I says, aye, but she'll definitely be home because you're going to see your dog. I says, effing dog. So, and then she told me we were going to see a puppy, a Weimaraner puppy.
A Weimaraner?
Weimaraner.
Never heard this. Okay.
A bonny dog.
Okay.
And,
is that a big dog or a small dog?
It's a fair size, it's bigger than a lab.
Right, okay.
And I said, nobody gets to see a puppy.
Because once your eyes clock each other, heart melts.
That was it. So we've now got a dog. And
is it well behaved or hyper?
It's still in training. It's a year and a half old now, and it's still in training.
And so how's that affected the household? Is there arguments?
Well, it smells a bit more, I'll tell you that.
Is there sometimes odd argument?
No, not really. No about the dog. We both love the dog, you see. So apart from the smell, a doggy smell in the house. So we have to buy a lot of air fresheners, I'll tell you that.
So you've got a dog in addition now, and it's made things a bit more fun.
A dog and 3 grandkids.
Aye, right,
And
okay.
that's kinda, apart from the fishing, that's kinda in the pub, which is up for sale.
And so,
I hasten to add.
Speaking about a pub and as it is, if it's up for sale, like how hard has that been to maintain, like the mess and arms?
The pub was never where living. Well, where living was me working in the oil industry, and I did wheel at it. And the pub was always an investment, so to speak. Is you pay off a mortgage and then you sell it, or you make a few quid off it, and it was never meant to be our business. So we've never ran it as we're living. We've tried to upgrade it and maintain it and improve it, and we have done that. But we've never really marketed the place. We did have a restaurant open at one time, but it got a bit stressful, especially for a wife, and that's not what we signed up for. And it got tie-in, and we didn't want that. We want to enjoy our grandkids, we want to enjoy our life, and therefore I was asked 8 years ago to put it up for sale, and I won the date, and then 3 years ago we did, and we've now got it's under offer at the moment, and hopefully it'll be sold hopefully pretty soon, and that'll give us more time to do what we want to do. If
it did sell, David, would you ging here and actually still have a drink?
Oh, definitely.
You would?
If it's a pub.
I hope you haven't got an alcohol problem, have you?
No. Lack of alcohol problem.
Right, okay.
No, I didn't want it to be an alcohol someday, but I did like a pint in it. I'll never deny it. No, I did.
I think, is it not good just to chill and relax? Sometimes in the bonny days.
Oh,
it is. Now, I also wanted to mention that, see like a Harbour to you, there's a real vibe of community. I feel like it's the heart of the Rosehearty here.
Well, I see it as being a bit of a focal point. Nobody comes to the village, I tend to kind of come down here.
You see somebody going about with a dog, you'll speak to the say, "Hi, a dog," and then suddenly there's somebody else appearing.
Aye.
And I feel like there's a real sense of love here. Am I right saying that?
It is good.
Nobody seems to ken nobody when you're doing the show.
It is good. And then if somebody strange comes in, somebody will speak to them. And so I want to build on that. I think with COVID happening and all that, and more folk holidaying at home, I think you're going to get this corner's been cut off. I think since we lost the train potentially, and the seasons have changed. And I mean, if you look at the Brock caravan site, used to be morbid, and then it kind of died, and it's picking up again. And it would be great for this corner to see a lot more tourists, and I think that'll come. And what we need to do is probably invest in our communities and tidy the place up a bit, and make it more welcoming, and that would be great.
So let's just say somebody's wanting to like donate to this Harbour project with RHIFA. How would they go about it? Do they just how do they find somebody?
Buy a hamburger.
There you go.
Buy a hamburger and buy a raffle when we're selling a raffle.
And it's not just burgers for anyway, is it? It's for local.
It's all local. That's important. It's a local butcher we get our burgers. Yeah, that's really important. That kind of stuff. And we've to fund what we did. We put a chair in, we put an ice machine in, and the total project was running about 100,000 quid, and we raised about 30 ourselves, and we got 69.5, maybe a wee bit more for Europe, which was great. and we spent it all, and we see the results, and it's fantastic. We got some money for the council, the Area Initiative Fund, and we did a bit of landscaping at the top, and put in a couple of benches.
And the benches,
to give something back.
It takes a minute to get benches in. It's not just straightforward, is it?
No, I mean, we've got a company for the Broch to do that, at White Star, and they did that for us, and we contributed to ourselves, but we also got a grant, but we had obviously to mark up the difference, and what we'd like to do more, we'd like to purchase more benches. They're quite expensive. I would like to do it in recycled plastic if we could, because it's long lasting and it's environmentally friendly and all that kind of stuff, but we did that, and we've got another project to go, which is more a community project, but it's kind of led by the association, and that's it's called the Phoenix Fund. The council, it's all to do with rising for the in the back of COVID, and doing something with each community, and so a couple of the quines, Sandra and Dawn, for our committee, took that project on, and they've raised £8,500, and there'll be more to go on top of that, but they've got to put a digital kind of sign in, and they've got planning for it, and that'll hopefully will get on their information about the tune, like the attractions, the cliffs, the walks, the hotels, the butchers, the boys brigade, the bowling club, the boat club, all that kind of stuff.
Even the Rosehearty shop is so popular.
Exactly. Is it? Oh, very popular. Aye, it really is. Yeah, it's a great shop, and so it'll be across for that, and somebody coming to the tour will say, there's a lot more to Rosehearty than meets the eye. We've got Pittsliggy Castle, and there's a lot in this area, and so that would be like an information kind of board. And so that's the next little project that we're involved in. Now,
you as a person now, David, because it's great to see how motivated you are. You've got a lot of love and respect for this community and that. But you as a person, have you struggled yourself with health conditions in life? Or?
The biggest drawback for me, apart from my personality,
you've got a good personality, I can tell.
I'm deaf in one ear, and
was that for birth or?
No, I was in a road accident when I was 7, and
so you was in the back seat of this car?
Broken bits and head injuries and that. No, I was hit by a car as I was crossing the road, and.
Wow.
So,
was it just a genuine?
It was my own fault. I ran out in front of it when I was a kid. I was 7-year-old, and that's affected it affected my schooling.
So you can't hear nothing at all? Can you not hear anything at all? Or
nothing, no.
Nothing at all?
When I was a kid and I was at the pub and somebody's saying a laugh and a joke,
you'd miss the jokes.
I couldn't participate. So you kind of end up sinking into your own kind of shell, and it can mark the social side of your life quite difficult. And even in meetings, when as part of my career, I was never out of meetings, and I would often miss things because I struggle to pick it up. If nobody's speaking and I miss a thread.
And did you get operations? Did you get any operations?
I had initially, but then it was the nerve that was going, so there's nothing they can do about that.
Does it annoy you?
Aye. And it annoys the wife more, because it's not getting any better. As you get older, your ears deteriorate, so this thing's deteriorating a bit now, and it's like I've got to put subtitles on the TV, for instance, because I can hear, but I can't mark out. It's just it's a bit of a mumble, Ken. Like speaking to you just now, it's fine, there's no background noise, but if I was back and I've got my left ear to you, if I was facing another direction and there was a wee bit of noise, I'd be constantly saying A, and then it becomes a bit of a.
And it's so funny, is it? It's just all these things through life. You get little incidents that happen can affect you the rest of your life. Is it kind of things like that?
It is. If I had reflected on it, if I was going to change anything, I would have liked my hearing. But then again, there's a lot of folk with a lot worse, Ken. So it's not the worst.
And so
I've learned to live with it.
So enjoyment in you mentioned TV. Do you watch TV?
No, a lot.
So
I watch a lot of the news.
So your wife will be watching TV. What are you doing when she's watching TV?
I'm probably working in my creels or marking hooks or writing a document.
So fur's the
trying
time for
to
you and
change
her?
things.
I'm just trying to work this out. I'm thinking, how
Aye.
does this relationship work
It's
if he's too busy doing
a
that
bit
stuff?
ships in the night again, but I know we walk a dog together a bit, and that was one of the reasons that we're really wanting to get rid of our pub, so we can spend more time with the grandkids and get a decent holiday for a change and do stuff like that.
And Fit's life been about for you anyway, David? I just wondered, because like that's passion with Rosehearty and that, but for you, are you really content? Can like just doing this until whenever?
I love this. This is great. Aye.
So this keeps you happy, doesn't it?
And I've got a really understanding wife, and she gives me plenty slack.
Aye.
And she doesn't hassle me about some things needing painted or fixed. It does get done, but it just takes a while. But I did spend a lot of time at my kitchen table. We've got a desk up in the blooming room, up the stairs. We've got a wee office, and I never use it. I prefer to sit at the kitchen table. I find it more social, and I'm on my computer a lot. And I've written a few documents. And I've tried to change things. I'm trying to get a better quota for the mackerel for the small boaty guys. I'm trying to do something about the seals. We wrote a paper on that one involved.
Let's mention about the seals now, because I mind you mentioned just briefly that if you've got any devices new in the boats that...
Well, we haven't known yet.
But you want them?
Well, we'd like it. It's enough a touchy subject, seals.
Because a lot of fishermen hate seals. Would that be right saying that?
Aye. Oh, well, yes. It's a fair
But
the
point. Seals is only looking for food.
Aye.
That's their main agenda, is it?
Well, for the day is that they affect a lot of fisheries, but salmon farms specifically, and we're finding that they latch onto the boats. I could speak about this all day, because I've been involved in this for a year and a half, if not longer. They latch onto the boats in the morning, and are 2 or 3 of them, and they want to leave you. So you find a shoal of fish, and it's not always easy to find a shoal of fish, but when you find it, the seal's with you, and he watches you, because they're awful smart.
Very clever things.
Very clever. And you'll start catching fish. As soon as he sees that, he's doing. You'll take a fish off your hooks. We're not caring about that. Help your sail. But I think he scares the shoal.
Yep.
So
and
it's going. So you get
your
30 seconds of fish in, and then it's going. And then you're searching for another 15 minutes, half an hour, 2 hours, depends if it like the shoals are. And then he's on you again. And he can swim faster than the boat can move, so it doesn't take long for him to be on you. And there's the numbers in this corner have increased dramatically. Grey seals over the last 10-15 years have just exploded, and it's getting more difficult and more difficult. And you see the youngins with them as well, and they're actually learning their trade, and they're finding it an easy meal. So what we want to do is deter them.
So as this device, is it maybe...
Well, it's got acoustic deterrent devices, and the one that I latched onto was called Startle technology. It's TAST. It's got a targeted acoustic... TAST, T-A-S-T, targeted acoustic startle technology.
And it's just a way to get a seals away.
And it's St Andrews University, two scientists from St Andrews University developed it, and we a company which has got a benefactor in America, a company called Genius Wave, which is a Scottish company, but it's an American that's financing this. He's not really making much money himself, but he's financing it, and they've primarily started with doing this kind of work for the fish farms, and it's slightly different to normal acoustic deterrent, and they've done a lot of work in relation to getting the sound. I'm not a scientist, and in relation to I'm not too technically adept at understanding all this technology, but they've homed in on some primitive sort of brain activity that we've all got, and they've homed in on a signal that'll cause a response in the seal's head, but no affect, no damage the seal's hearing, and they affect the rest, porpoises, dolphins. Minke whales, we've got to do a wee bit of work in minke whales to see, because they've got a different sort of sonar mechanism, so there's work to be done there yet on a minke whales to see if there's any effect in that, but we've homed in on this technology as being having a minimal effect to the environment, with a view to getting a scientific solution to a problem that us fishermen have got. That a scientific solution that will be accepted by the public and accepted by Marine Scotland and you know, the environmental groups and Nature Scotland, for instance. Nature Scotland.
I think you should have been a professor. I'm a bit scared about your knowledge. This is amazing. You've got a vast knowledge here of this, how this things work, is it?
So well, the scientists have.
So you're quite academic, though.
I'm just the guy that wrote the document that said we've got a problem. Here's potential solutions, and got in contact with folk. I got a lot of help from a lassie called Linda Blackadder at Marine Scotland, and she led a group, and then we ended up forming a project group, which lasted about a year and a half, and we had a study out here. The report has been published. There's more work to be done. We got funding for NICFRIG, which is the North and East Coast Regional Inshore, Inshore Fisheries Group, and we're looking to. We've got a professor for St Andrews University, Vincent Yannick, who's hopefully leading the team, and a further study potentially next year, and maybe having observers on the boats. And
excellent.
And
so things is all
the idea being is that we find a solution that we can fit to a boat, that we can press a button, that'll send out a pulse, that'll deter a seal for maybe 40-50 metres around the boat, and keep them off the boat whilst we're fishing, but no causing any damage to other wildlife, and is something that's acceptable to other groups.
And before we go, what would you say about like this place here? How do you feel about the future of this place? Do you think it's always going to be the beating heart of Rosehearty?
Well, aye, of course it is, and we want to keep it. We didn't want it to fall down. We want to aesthetically. We could do a lot more. It would be nice to. You going abroad, you go up to Gameray even and look at Gameray Harbour. It's beautiful, and you're going abroad and you're not walking through weeds, Ken. But here, Ken, we could do a lot more to tidy the place up and make it more welcome. The kids pier jump here. They're not supposed to all, but it's a great thing. I did it as a kid, and we're never going to discourage it. In fact, encourage it as long as it's safe to do so. And families come down and the kids playing a wee beach at the back here, and I think it's fantastic. So I want to encourage more folk coming to the harbour and make it a real community harbour.
So the main thing is, if you're doing a Rosehearty, get yourself a burger. Right. And it's helping towards the projects you're trying to get going.
Well, with COVID, that's what we're doing. We established a fun day, a bit of a gala. It hadn't been a gala here for, I would say, 15-20 years at least. And so, before COVID, we had a gala, we called it a Harbour Day, and we had that, and that was magnificent. We can't do it just now.
And there will be another one.
There's going to be another fun day in future. There'll be another one, definitely. And we do a lot of things, but it's not just about the harbour, it's not just about the fishermen, because yes, there's a lot to do with that, was helping ourselves, but we need to get something back in that. And for instance, we've donated. We did a fisherman's calendar, which went doing quite well.
I heard about this. Is there folk naked in it?
Well, not exactly naked, but
I want to see folk naked. I want to see you naked in the calendar.
Well, I didn't go doing well with a lot of folk, but there was a few bums kicking about. But anyway, we did that, and we donated to Cahonas, which is a Scottish charity for testicular cancer. So we put a wee bit back. We've donated quite a bit of money to the lifeboat, because the lifeboat is really important to us, as I can attest to. Personally, if my boat decided to leave a harbour one day by itself, and if it wasn't for a lifeboat, I wouldn't have a boat. And so we donate to the lifeboat for, it's pretty obvious reasons.
Exactly.
So we've got involved in some of our guys got involved in the Boxing Day swim, and we donated for the Harbour Day. We donated to the boat club, and we're trying to give something back. That's what I'm trying to say.
See, the next calendar, and if it'll do, I'll film you on your boat, and you can be naked, David.
Oh, I've got no problem with that.
I think that'll raise thousands. Aberdeen will be wanting to see you.
It'll certainly be a good laugh anyway.
Right. Okay. I want to say thanks for how good the harbour's looking, actually, because it is looking good.
Looks nice with the tide in, aye. Looks nice
looking
with
good.
The tide in.
And when people come here, Aberdeen's always speaking.
Aye.
That's the main thing. It's about communication and speaking and a bit of laugh.
And a bottle of beer.
I'd like to see you absolutely leathered in that. I presume you get leathered.
No, I just fall asleep.
You get sleepy, we drink.
Fall asleep and go up my bed.
Right.
Best place for me.
Thank you very much for coming on. And like we're saying,
been a pleasure.
get a burger or a hot dog, and all the funding is going towards hopefully a better Rosehearty.
Exactly.
Harbour.
Yeah.
Right, thank you for being on, David. It's been a pleasure meeting you. And,
It's been a pleasure
I'll say
meeting you.
cheers and that.
Thank you very much for
Right,
taking your time to speak to me.
thank you very much, and we'll see you next week on a
Very good.
podcast.
Sticky Trifle Podcast.
Sticky Trifle Podcast.
And 3, 2, 1. And again, now. Come in. Come on. And then there was one left. Here he goes.
Sticky Trifle podcast will return next week.
Well, Rosehearty Harbour on a nice sunny day has got it all. You've got jet skis, pier jumping, you've got barbecues. And not only that, I was involved with a little, what would I say, an incident with a Rosehearty shopkeeper or none other than water balloons and water pistols. Well, obviously he doesn't ken how to have fun like I do. See you next Sunday. Bye.
Sticky Trifle Podcast.